Okay. Make cookies with me. This is an adult video, not meant for children to watch. And let's go ahead and just verify that I washed my hands, that they're clean. Okay, so I have 1 cup of butter. A quarter of a cup of butter is equal to 1/2 stick. So there is a 1/2 cup of butter in each stick. So I use 2 sticks of butter. Now I'm going in with my 1.5 cups of sugar, brown sugar. And I don't know where my measuring cups are, so I'm just using this one. My dry measuring cups. If I'm short on sugar, I'm just going to go ahead and use that last 1/2 cup as white sugar. So I'm going to go 1 cup of brown sugar. I'll go get my 1/2 cup of white sugar out of my pantry. Half a cup of white sugar. 1 second. Just need to verify how many eggs. 2 large eggs. Okay. Sorry, be right back with the eggs. These are eggs from our farm. I'm gonna go ahead and wash them. You guys know that if you have farm fresh eggs, that they actually last longer if you don't put them in the refrigerator and you don't wash them. You wash them after. You wash them after. You take them out. So because I don't know if my mother's eggs are washed or not, I did go ahead and wash them. And it's not a being lazy thing. Okay. 2, 3. I'm gonna go ahead and beat these together. So I did put them in the microwave, the butter in the microwave to melt it. However, powerful your microwave is, you guys would know the answer to that. There's some sugar. Let's lump it. Could have sifted it, possibly. Okay, once I have my sugar, my eggs, and my butter mixture mix, I am going to go ahead and go in with the 3 cups of flour. So on my measuring cup for dry measurement, I want to show you, it does have marks on the inside of it, so I am able to do a dry measure or a wet measure in it. Now, if you guys have a mixer, like I've got one over there, but you know, it belonged to my grandmother first, and you know, my grandmother came from another time where, you know, her family didn't, you know, allow her to take substances, or, you know, they weren't legal, so, I don't want to, you know, harm, like the gift that I got from her. You know, so I leave the mixer alone sitting over there. And to my grandmother, Louise Alvarez, in heaven, or on your next incarnation, like whatever that looks like, I'm just sending you a lot of love, missing you, wishing you were here. I love you, Grandma. Okay, so mix these together. And before it gets too late, I want to go ahead and throw this in here. This is my medicinal marijuana that I cooked in an oven by itself for 25 minutes. I added the butter. I put it back in the oven till it came back to right before a boil, and you know, mix that together. So I want to, you know, get a good, you know, solid, you know, even mixture. So I'm going to mix about half of that in to my cookies. I mean, and as long as you're mixing it good, like you shouldn't have any, you know, question about whether or not it's evenly distributed. I don't want to put it on top. I've already cooked it, so, you know, putting it in the brownies. Sorry, they are not brownies. We're trying to be a Girl Scout, Jen. This is not a video for children. Not yet, anyways. Get my chocolate chips, and I'm going to pour the rest of this in. You know, and I don't want to waste anything, so I'm going to go in. So I'm put that, put a little glob in there. Get all that good juice out of there, so I'm not leaving behind any of my very expensive investment. I mean, marijuana is expensive. Hopefully the government will pick up the tab eventually once it becomes medicinal for everybody. You know, if you need it, you need it. If you don't, you don't. Don't judge those that do, though. I promise you, you don't want to walk in one of the lifetimes carrying the pain of those that, you know, needed it, so that you know with your own conscience, like, what that was like. I just want to know how much pain I was in, right? Why God would bring me something to help me. Mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, I mean, all of the above. And I just want to show you, so that I get an even size cookie, I am going to go with a muffin pan to make my cookies. So they're going to, you know, be perfect and all the same. My oven's preheated to 400 degrees. And I always turn my oven up a little higher than what I'm baking at, and just for the preheat process. When I open the oven, it's going to lose heat, so I want to get the, the temperatures, as correct as possible. So if my temperature I'm cooking it at is 350 degrees, I preheated it to 400. I'm, figuring, for the loss of heat when I'm opening it. Chocolate chips. I'm going to go with the Bash's semi-sweet mini chocolate chips. So I'll show you if you have never seen these before, what they look like after I pour those in. Man, those are going to be some chocolatey cookies. They're just like little mini, like kisses maybe. I guess that's what they look like. It's like a little teeny tiny mini kiss. See them? It's cute. Does it taste good? All right, just one. Otherwise I can't stop. All right. Mix my chocolate chips in. So you can see what my batter looked like. Okay, so you guys see it. That's what it looks like. Mixing my chocolate chips in. Now I know why I got the mini chocolate chips at Christmas time. And I was like, what the heck? This is what they were for. These cookies right here. Little kisses of consciousness. I don't know, this sounds like amazing. And I really want to go in there with my hands and like, whatever, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to use my little fork. Because sometimes maybe you guys don't have spatulas and like, I don't need to have a better kitchen than you do. Like, I don't want anybody to get this. You gonna borrow me? You want to try yourself? I mean, homemade recipes so far, like, compared to like stuff I could buy at the store, way better. I had to get over like that initial hump of like, I'm not trying to break rules. Like I'm doing case studies for anything I'm making. Anybody I'm serving it to has to be willing participants, so that I'm not breaking any laws. Now I'm part of medical research. I'm protected. Okay. I mean, you can't go and like get like a database to like test from. And the reason for that is like we don't know what what the potential side effects are. There are those that have lived, and suffered, and died in jails and prisons, for things like marijuana. And for them, like, I'm so sorry, and I hope that your sacrifice for something you believed in to heal, can hear the message, that I'm here now, and maybe your souls can finally let go. If that's you and you're trapped and you're stuck, like, there's a light for you. Anyways, let me get the other pan. got another pan. We use the packaging from the butter. I'm not touching it, to grease the insides of my little muffin tins. And I don't need to get the sides right, like, not really, I'm just trying to get the bottom. I mean, I'm excited because I'm going to try one. So I can't wait for them to get done. They cook for 20 minutes at 350 degrees. And you're going to check them when they're done. And make sure that they look like they're done. And if they're not, you're going to let them cook some more. I mean, it should be self-explanatory, but I'm making sure nobody ever tries to recreate my recipes for consumption and makes any mistakes. Somebody could do that somewhere. Okay. I don't know how many cookies this makes. Dang. Apparently I'm making some on the cookie sheet. Make some freaking cookies. So, might be doing this in multiple batches. Let's see how many cookies we get. Trying to remember, I am working with 400 milligrams of THC. So, wherever my numbers end up, that should be a reflection. So you may want to go ahead and grease the side of those tins. Okay. Touch my head. Did not touch that side. This going in the oven. I wouldn't be touching the bottom of it. It's really hard when you're trying to follow all the rules and you have a brain like mine that knows them all. So yeah, this looks like this is going to be about 24 cookies. You know, and then you pop them in the freezer and, you know, you eat them one at a time, like as you need them. I mean, take them out, defrost it, throw it in the microwave. Cookies reheat easily out of the freezer. Did you know that? I mean, if you don't have a microwave, just leave it on the counter. Can we talk about how easy this recipe for cookies was? Dang, right? 5 ingredients and you could have homemade? Who would have thought? All right. If I was cooking muffins, they would also cook for about the same amount of time. I will keep an eye on them just to make sure they're not done first. But this is what we're looking like, okay? And I'm sorry that I'm not just cooking them on a cookie sheet, but I need them all to be the same. They'll be going someday in packaging for, you know, for a sale for, you know, a store or something. Amy and Al's make cookies, but when I got their cookies, I didn't feel anything from them, and I don't know if that wasn't because they hadn't passed the FDA hurdles yet, so I'm going to go with, I don't know the answer, but I could assume that the Food and Drug Administration hadn't, you know, found a way to work together, you know, with medicinal marijuana. So I'm going to put that, the couple in here a little low. My bowl, that's what I've got left. I will have like I said, a better idea here in a second. And I'm throwing these in my oven. Setting my timer for 20 minutes. My mouth is watering. I'm not hungry, but I mean, who doesn't like cookies? So just for anybody that doesn't know, the Kush Lotto is an indica. I believe it is a combination of gelato and something with Kush. Anyways, those are in the oven. Let me check my temperature. Turn that down. Right, and stay tuned for part 2.